sipping whiskey from a paper cup. You drown your sorrows till you can't stand up. Take a look at what you've done to yourself. Why don't you put the bottle back on the shelf? Yellow-fingered from your cigarettes. Your hands are shaking while your body sweats. Why don't you look into Jesus? He got the answer.
And we are live. Thank you for joining us for another Monday Mission Live. Now, we are doing a total magic trick today because the fact is that, well, this isn't a live Mission Live. The fact is that Eric's out of town today, who is our big producer, and then I'm out of town today. Today I am in Boston. I'm in Boston hanging out with my friends, the McGilvrys, in Boston, Massachusetts today. So today what we're doing instead is kind of a best of. And so I sure appreciate you joining us. What we're going to do is just gather a whole bunch of clips, shake them up really good, and then hope it all comes out well, and hope you enjoy the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Check this out. Here we are, Mission Live.
And I think a lot of the groups and agencies don't really have a solid metric for gauging success.
Right.
Whereas you and I have had conversations specifically about the gospel mission here that are eye-opening.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you're excited about like warming shelters, if that's kind of your thing, and keeping people warm in cold weather or keeping people cool in really hot weather, 100% of the people who come into a gospel rescue mission get that. Okay? They get that every day.
Right.
If you like feeding people who are hungry and stuff like that, 100% of everybody who stays in a gospel rescue mission gets food and gets good food, and everything. If you're excited about giving out clothes, man, the Gospel Rescue Mission gives clothes to everybody in their program and everything. If you're excited about giving tents, and sleeping bags, I'll do you one better. I'll put them in a bed. I'll put them in a bed that's safe.
In a heated, air-conditioned building.
Heated, air-conditioned building, exactly. So if you're worried about, addiction, and the addiction issue, 100% of our program residents stay clean during their program time, okay? So they stay 100% sober while they're here. And if you're concerned about, mental illness, everybody that comes in this door gets counsel. They're surrounded by a team of people who care for them and who give them counsel. And so I'm going, what's not to like about what we do? And when you're doing it, guess what? The absolute best results that we get is like 1 out of 4 people that walk through our doors will leave with a job and a home. I got to ask if your navigation center is going to get that same kind of results, or if any of the other places are going to get those kinds of results. I hope. I'm not saying I hope that they don't. I'm saying I hope they do. But I'm saying that I would like to know
some quantifiable
what do you
data.
do? Quantify it.
And I think one of the unique things about your program here is that not only are they housed, sheltered, comfortable, as far as heating and cooling, fed, they're surrounded by peers, people in similar situations who are also achieving success.
That's right.
Instead of surrounded by people living in the mud, in the cold, in the heat, needles everywhere, watching people die of overdoses, knowing that the person in the other tent is being sexually assaulted, et cetera, et cetera. That kind of environment is not healthy for anybody. Nobody gets out of that without help.
That's right.
And that help needs to draw them out of that area.
I lived up on Granite Hill. I walked in every day, 3-4 times a day to find my fix, to go to the food pantry downtown to get something to eat. That's just how my life went for about 3 years. Hi, my name's James Franklin, and I'm a current resident of the Gospel Rescue Mission. I became a resident of the Gospel Rescue Mission 22 months ago. I was homeless for 3 years. I lived up on Granite Hill. I walked in every day, 3-4 times a day to find my fix, to go to the food pantry downtown to get something to eat. That's just how my life went for about 3 years. I first heard about the mission through Brian Boteller. He asked me why I was homeless and asked me if I would take a tour of the Gospel Rescue Mission. I said, sure. So me and a couple other guys, we came over and he took us on a tour. I got to go through and see the dorms, see all the bunks, where you got to be able to store all your clothes. And then we went in and we sat down there in the chapel. Being able to have an opportunity to change my life from where I was at to where I'm at now, I would recommend anybody out there, especially this time of season, you don't need to be out there. There's a warm bed in here. This place is very open, you know. It gives you opportunity for hope, you know. The mission has helped me maintain sobriety. It has helped me maintain a full-time job. It has given me an opportunity to grow and to be a mentor to other residents that are new. Within the last 20 months that I had been at the mission, I've paid off $21,000 of child support. It's been it's an overwhelming feeling. I mean, I looked at it for many years going, I'm never going to achieve this, you know. It's too much, you know. And I'll tell you, that was probably the best blessing day of my life, to know that I became debt-free for the first time in 21 years. I was at work, and I was running the forklift, and my boss come up to me and said, hey, I need to talk to you. I mean, first thing that I thought is, man, what's he gonna tell me now? What did I do? And he pulled me into the office, and there sat another gentleman right there next to my boss's desk, and he introduced him to me. His name was Christian. And the reason why Christian was there was because he had a gift for me, which I didn't know what it was. He was just talking to me, and I was explaining to him some of my testimony. He says, hey, James, let's take a walk. So I says, all right, I got something to show you. I'm like, all right. So we started walking, and I'm like, dude, what are you gonna show me? You know, I got a job to do. I'm kind of getting anxious, and we started talking and got about halfway down the sidewalk to the Rock Food Pantry, and he stopped me and he's like, so do you know why I brought you here? I says, no. He says, well, God brought me here because he wanted me to gift you this car. And I looked at Christian and I said, could you please repeat that? And I just started crying. I was like, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I was appalled. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. So I just looked at him and I shook his hand. I gave him a great big hug. And he's like, always remember, God gifted you this car. I didn't. Me growing spiritually, it took me a while. I had a hard time believing in a God that I never could see. But as I have grown in the mission in 22 months I have lived here, God has been my savior. He's been my hope. It's been a blessing. If there's anything I can say to anybody, believe in yourself, believe in Jesus Christ, for he does do miracles, because he did a miracle for me. So if I can do this, you can do this.
One of my first jobs, I was working with my brother, recovering, reupholstering furniture.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of work for the local furniture store. They'd bring their stuff in, and they had these 2 old guys that would pick up and deliver for them. And I thought about them old guys, you know, look at them guys carrying furniture, old dudes carrying furniture. That seems like a bum trip. And now I'm an old guy carrying furniture, and I really kind of like it. Good day to you, sir.
How have you been?
Good. How you been?
How long exactly? When did you start working for the Gospel Rescue?
I think I was about 43.
You were about 43, or was it 1943?
No, I was about 43. I'd been in town for a couple years, probably 3 or so. And I did a presentation for the Wilderness Trails program, which I was working for at the time.
Yeah.
And Walt was in the meeting there. It was a Businessman's Full Gospel Bible Study luncheon, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm doing the presentation, showing slides, trying to get their attention. A bunch of old, gray-headed guys, you know. And was really growing frustrated because they all had their faces in their plates, and nobody seemed interested in all my good information. And I was kind of bummed about that. And so I broke out into this rap song, you know, and did this thing. And they still didn't lift their heads up. I mean, they were really not interested in me. I was convinced.
Do you remember the rap song?
When you make up your mind you're going to walk up, right? The devil don't like it. He'll put up a fight. He'll do anything and everything he can to annoy you. He's out to rob you. He wants to destroy you. He's a liar and a thief. He don't mean you no good. He'd even take your life. Yes, he would if he could.
Yes, he would.
But you're covered with the blood. He can't cross that line. If you resist him, he'll run every time. Stick him with the word. That's your sword. You got the victory in the name of the Lord. So whenever he comes, tries to attack, you jab him in Jesus' name, get back. He'll dig up your past. He'll throw it in your face. But the next time he does, put him in his place. Under your feet, that's where he belongs. Stomp on his head and sing this song. Ain't no devil in hell going to walk on the Jesus in me. Anyways.
Wait a minute.
Well,
that was awesome. That was awesome.
Well, Walt says, hey, I want the words to that. I said,
and everybody else is still sitting there eating their soup while you're doing this.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I did feel kind of rejected.
And Walt Fixell was the founder of the Grants Pass Gospel Rescue.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right, and so I knew that, and so I told Walt I'd like to teach at the men's Bible study. He says, well, come down, we'll talk about it. And so it was an instant friendship. I really admired him, and he was a nice guy, and man, he was doing a big work there, you know. And maybe I should clarify right away. The reason I was attracted to that is that I grew up an unbeliever until I was about 23. Okay. And I had real resistance to religion and Billy Graham. And of course, now he's one of my biggest heroes. But living in the darkness, it made no sense to me, and I had nothing to do with it. But then my life kind of petered out at 23. I kind of bombed out of school and had to go to work, and my brother was a believer, and I got connected, and eventually I went from darkness to light. Nobody's going to twist my arm and make me believe, but after about 6 months of running with Christians and finding out what the game plan is and that there was a spiritual dimension that was real, I've been indebted ever since because it motivates me. You know, it's helped me in so many ways.
So this was back when you were 43. Now you're 47 now, something like that. So it's just a couple years ago.
Well, you know, it's about 30 years ago.
Okay, about 30 years. 30 years ago, man. I mean, that's right. I mean, this place. So the Grants Pass mission started in like 1983. I think I was in the 8th grade.
Wow,
that's
amazing.
So that's fantastic. Next, we are going to talk to, this is a video that we've had on our website for some time, a graduate from the Gospel Rescue Mission, a good friend, John Amato. Here's his testimony. Check it out.
I'm sitting in Riverside Park here in Grants Pass, and I've done a lot of drug deals here. I've done a lot of drugs here, and I find it ironic that I'm here doing my testimony for change in this specific place where drugs used to abound. My name's John Amato, 44 years old, or soon to be. I came here to Grants Pass 4 months ago. It's my 5th time at the Gospel Rescue Mission in Grants Pass. I have failed 4 different times, not including all my past failures that add up to experience in my mind of thinking now. I believe in the power of I am and the fact that we have unlimited potential. And I'm very thankful to have a place like the Gospel Rescue Mission in my life, because it's allowed me to get set for something more, for success. And although I look at success and failure as the same thing, experience, and I find that this doesn't overwhelm me in my life. I believe in the power of I am, the fact that we have unlimited potential. We're only limited by our minds, and we unlimited our minds, we can do anything that we set our minds to. And that God is within. We are a divine spark of the whole, and we're in the image of the Creator, and that we're all worth more than all the riches and all the universes put together, each one of us, and He loves each one of us especially much. My life has been about selfish decisions that have caused a lot of pain for a lot of people, including myself. And all of that pain and misery and grief and agony has been flipped into something wonderful, because I chose to submit to Christ last summer under the eclipse of the Son of God on August 21st. I truly gave my life and submitted to Him, and ever since then everything has changed. I was running with a nationwide warrant. I was picked up on it January 16th. Taken to Clark County, put in prison for 2 days, and then brought down here to Josephine County. And instead of spending 120 days in jail, I was released 16 days later under the condition that I submit and give everything I have to change. And so I've done that. And in 4 months, on top of the few months from August 21st, everything has changed. My life has changed. My wife, with my relationship, has changed. I'm getting my child back, who I was losing through the system. I've met great people. I've made a lot of new friends. I have a direction, a passion in my life now that I've never had before. I'm open to new things. I'm open to change. I'm open to constant growth, constant pain. And I choose more in my life by becoming less selfish, less miserable, less the man I used to be, and more the spiritual, cloaked in His righteousness, which is in through me, and He indwells in my body. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I know where I've been. I know the choices that I've made. I don't regret a single one of them, because I wouldn't be who I am today because of it. And it allows me to reach back and empathize and relate to a lot of people now in my life, and that is my mission, to facilitate change in not only my life, but in other people's lives as well, so that they can understand that they are worth it. And my path is to inspire, because I am inspired when I inspire others. I love my life today. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And I've shed so many tears, and if emotional pain could be considered physical pain, which the mind doesn't know how to tell the difference, I would be dead 100 times over. But it's okay, because it's all for something good. And my children actually have a father today. My wife has a husband. My friends have a friend. I have a friend in me. I look in the mirror, I see that reflection staring back, and I can honestly say I love you. And I'm grateful. And I have appreciation for every breath when I wake up. And I say thank you, God, every day. I appreciate everything that it is. And I have so much appreciation to the Gospel Rescue Mission, to the men that are running it. And I can honestly say that none of this would have been possible had I not been brought here. So here's my 5th time. Here's to trying. Done with trying, let's do it. And that's my path in this life today. And I just have to say thank you.
So a lot of times we get a question like, okay, you had this great video of somebody who did really good at the Gospel Rescue Mission, but how are they doing now? I mean, do they really last? Does things really go good for them after they leave? Well, we caught up with our friend John and just gave him a shout out the other day and said, hey, John, how are you doing? What's going on? And he sent us this video. Check it out.
Hi, my name's John Amato. This is an update for the Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission. I just wanted to let people know who I am and where I am today from the point of 2018 that I stayed at the Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission. I know that I was offered the opportunity on 4 different occasions to get my life straightened out, and unfortunately that didn't work out when I was at the Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission, and I was told that I couldn't come back. But through the grace of God and the mercy of those at the mission, I was offered one last chance, a 5th time, to see if I couldn't do something with that. So I went ahead and became a member of the rescue mission, ended up becoming an RA, ran a real clean program, built a solid foundation of which Christ Jesus is and was the foundation of. I was working to get my child back from CPS and completed that task, went through several treatment facilities with 100% accuracy, did what was necessary. By the end of the CPS case, was offered a mentorship position, both my wife and myself, for other parents going through it. We chose a different route. Today, my wife is a full-time caregiver for her family. She works from home. I am a peer support specialist for Columbia River Mental Health here in Vancouver, Washington, on the SUD unit. I am a caseworker, peer support, peer counselor for those that are struggling and in need of resources, referrals, or the counseling piece. I attribute my success 100% to the foundation that was built through my stay at the Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission. And I'm very thankful for the staff and Brian Boteller for the opportunity to stay there and get my life straight. Today we are building a business for an automobile dealership to help others who are struggling, who are in sobriety, going through CPS, who are in need of vehicles to help build their credit. We are also in the process of buying a home for ourselves. And, 4.5 years ago, I was destitute on the streets, on parole and probation with nowhere to go and no outlook on life other than the same old thing over and over again. So all that to say, thank you, Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission. I am thankful for everything that you do there, all the services that you offer, and the scriptural studies that we do. Wouldn't be who I am today without your help. So thank you and have a great day.
Man. Thanks, John. Thanks for sending that to us. Again, another great testimony of a life changed because of a stay at the Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission. That's one of the things that we try and do with residents is get them really plugged into a church. Even if they don't become Christians, at least at a church, you've got a circle of friends or a group of people that you're going to meet that typically aren't trying to be worse than they were the day before. They're actually trying to do something better with their lives and be better people, and they're trying to be more honest and be more open about themselves and take on life in a more realistic way, even if you don't believe in Jesus and the Bible and all that stuff. you'd probably want people in your circle of friends like that, right?
Oh, now, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't before. I didn't. I wasn't plugged into a church.
Right.
How I got to River Valley was I was a resident manager in a foster home before I took care of the man in Merlin. And one of the gentlemen that I took care of was, he was some kind of a director. He had a lot to do with the church. Oh. And when he wanted me, he would whistle.
Oh.
And his wife got really upset. She said, "No, you need to call them." And so the first day I stepped foot into the church, I heard somebody whistling, and I just knew it's Flick. Because he was the one that helped me get back to Christ. We would, on Saturday nights, we would rush through dinner, and then we would go in and we'd watch TV in his room, and we'd watch all the Christian, we'd watch Huckabee and all those good shows,
Sure.
And I really learned a lot from him about Christ and what Christ can do. I remember my dad was a minister, but that was when I was a kid, and you just don't think about things like that when you're a kid.
Yeah, I know. It's, but here's the thing that's interesting is how God draws even a child that was born into and raised in a family of the covenant community, and he reels you back in, to the family.
Yes, he does.
Isn't that
Wait,
amazing?
my road was kind of like a leaf on a tree. You know how they go this way and this way and this way, and the branch goes straight, but there's these little leaves that go off to the side.
Sure.
And the leaves are dead ends.
Right.
And you have to turn around and come back and get back on the main road, and then you go a little further and you make another leaf. You turn around and come back. That was me.
Oh, boy. Well, so you have recently, you've got your own apartment now?
Yes.
Yeah. And, that's a pretty significant find, in 18 months. How long did you say?
18 months,
18 months to be able to go from homeless to getting your own apartment. That's a fantastic thing.
I also have a job.
And a job? Mm-hmm. Where are you working?
I work for the Grants Pass School District.
That is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
That's
I love it.
Another good group of people.
I love it. I love it.
That's so good.
I'm a lunch lady.
That's
and
great.
I love it.
It's funny because even thinking back in my childhood, some of the nicest people in school were the people that you didn't think that the kids would remember. But I've had a couple of great bus drivers and a couple of great lunch ladies that were, and a librarian that was, all played big impacts in my young.
Well, when I first applied for the job, I said to myself, I love kids.
Yeah.
And I love food. It's a job for me. It's perfect.
There you go. That's great. Exactly. Well, then it was a match made in heaven. How fantastic is that? You got a job, you got your own place. Any other plans after this? You plan on traveling the world? You plan on finding Mr. Right? You plan on
Well, that would be nice, but I'm not. There's nothing in the foreseeable future that.
This is for the Mission Dating Service here.
Right,
So
right.
Which brings us to another point you had.
Yeah.
Voting wisely.
Yeah. So in fact, we're going to go, let's talk about some action steps that people can take. Because really, we can sit and complain about this all day. You're a guy of action. I'm a guy of action, man. Let's just get in and roll up our sleeves and get this thing done. And so some action steps. First action step, show up at your city council meetings and share your concerns. So by golly, you got to actually let your city council members know, hey, we are not okay with this.
Right.
I've often said that if you really want to solve the problem, hold them to make every solution that they propose happen in their little ward, wherever their district is, where they represent, have it happen there, so that the people who voted for them are part of that solution, and they will either be the solution or that person will get put out of office because they always want to propose. It seems like they always want to propose something in somebody else's backyard to deal with, right?
Yeah. Let's put this on the outskirts. Let's move this someplace where no one will see it.
Right.
You know,
it's really frustrating. So another thing was vote wisely, elect good council members that reflect your values, or hey, run for office yourself. Now, you know, one thing that you and I both get criticized from people who sit there and say, you shouldn't say things like that. You shouldn't post pictures like that. And they'll wag their finger at me. Brian, you shouldn't have those kinds of rules and you shouldn't do it that way or whatever.
Right.
And to me, that's like, you know, somebody's carrying somebody out of a burning building. And there's a person
their back doing that. You really shouldn't hurt their back like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody's standing across the street criticizing the way you're carrying them.
Yes.
You're doing the work and they're criticizing, but they're not getting in the burning building themselves. Right. And so get up and get involved, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How about this? Tour a gospel rescue mission near you and discover why they do what they do. If it makes sense, support it. So I get people who contest us on our Gospel Rescue Mission Facebook page all the time. They'll wag their fingers at us. They'll say, "Oh, you're doing it for this, you're doing it for that," and they just want to interject all kinds of bad things about us that are usually not true. Right. You know, if they say, "Brian, you're a jerk," I'll just say, "Talk to my wife. She will tell you I am far worse than they imagine," and she'll spill all the dirt on me and everything. Right. But the truth is like, well, I always do this. I always say, "I'll tell you what, come on down. I'll give you a tour. I'll let you talk to any of the residents you want to talk to, and I'll walk away so that I don't even know what you talked about, and there's no no consequence to them, no consequence to you. You talk to them and ask them any question you want about their stay here." And they never seem to want to take me up on it. It's like, I'll walk through, talk to me. We'll talk to the residents, talk to the people that are here, and find out how terrible we are, you know. And what you'll find out is that all of a sudden you'll find out the rules make sense, the things that we do make sense, and you know, at least from a Christian perspective, you know, I mean, but that's all I know. That's what I am, man. I mean, I didn't do not Christian very well. You know, it's my thing.
Well, all growth processes are painful.
Right.
You know, building muscle is painful. You know, all growth process is painful. What we find is that in 99.9% of the conversations we have with people who are recovering, getting out of homelessness, moving forward, is that it's a painful process, but well worth it. Yeah. And they'll thank you to your face and shake your hand and hug you and cry on your shoulder when they're successful.
That's right. That's exactly.
But they never thank the people who gave them the needles.
That's
they never thank the people who made it easy to stay in those dismal situations.
Man, that is a good point. I'm just going to pause there for a second, because that was a really good point. and because that'll make a nice clip later on. Look for solutions that work without tax cost. Okay, so for me, it's like, and I harp on this government-run operations, and the reason is because bureaucracies have become their own industry. They've become their own industry. So a bureaucracy that is there to solve the problems of a victim. Guess what? The one thing they always need: victims.
Yep.
They always need victims, and they're not going to run out of victims.
We talked about the 10-year plan to end homelessness, right? Where are we now?
Exactly. And in fact, let's bring that back to everybody's mind. 10-year plan to end homelessness. Over 10 years ago, every county in the country did it to get money. HUD dollars were tied to it. You can look it up. Just type up 10-year plan to end homelessness and look in your county. There's probably somewhere a link to what's there, and you're going to find a plan to end homelessness that includes all the exact same talking points that we have today, and I'll bet your community hasn't ended homelessness. In fact, I'm betting that it hasn't even put a serious dent in it. And if you're on the West Coast, you've gone the opposite direction.
Exactly. And spent 10 times as much money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you just go, well, I want my money back.
Right.
I want my tax money back. You know, stop spending money on things that don't work, that patently, obviously do not work.
Right.
So, and then last thing is volunteer, man. I mean, you know, be a part of the solution. You know,
Absolutely.
even with people who volunteer to do things that I don't really agree with. I mean, I'm not a guy who's a fan of like giving out sandwiches in the park and all those kinds of things. But you know what I don't do? I don't really bag on people who do that. It's not my thing. I know what they're trying to do. I think that they're kind of contributing to, to that person not wanting to leave the park because they know that food's coming. But at least here's what they are doing. They're getting up off their rear end and they're going out and doing something, trying to be active in a sense, right, in a proactive way. And there's things that you can do to volunteer. How could they volunteer? What's the next volunteer opportunity they have to do with the Bear Creek Greenway Recovery Project?
I know quarterly the county does a Bear Creek Greenway cleanup.
Yeah. And
now that the weather is warming up, I think that's going to be very soon in our future. Obviously, there are agencies at work, Rogue Retreat for one, the Gospel Mission in Medford, Kelly Shelter, all sorts of places that do house people. They do get people off the streets. They do have services and resources available. Absolutely check them out. See if something fits your paradigm.
There are
and
places
makes
to
it
go.
work for
Here
you.
in Grants Pass, we've got the mission here in Grants Pass. Rogue Retreat just opened up. Foundry Village just a couple months ago in January. They've got a great little program there. It looks good. It's clean. It's a nice, safe place. So if not us, them, but certainly get to work, get involved. Yeah, and that's really good. Brother, thank you so much for your time.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Always good.
Yeah,
and again, if they want to find the Bear Creek Greenway Recovery Project, it's just that
Greenway Recovery Project.
Greenway Recovery Project on Facebook.
On Facebook.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's turn to something really positive. We need something positive to change the day, huh? So what I want to talk about next is thrift stores. Why do we have them? Where are they? What are they? Let's check it out. Here's an ambush video that we just did just this last week for our Booth Street thrift store. So today, we're going to go check out the Booth Street thrift store. I'm going to show you just how close it is to my own office, and we're going to go check it out right now. Okay?
Mission Live.
Mission Live. This is the pre-recorded Mission live recorded version or something. Here we go. Bad boys, bad boys. Where you gonna shop? We're gonna shop at the Booth Street thrift store. Let's check it out. And we're just walking down to the Booth Street thrift store on the corner of Booth and Foundry Street. Doing the... This is ridiculous. You've got to be able to be ridiculous among friends. The Booth Street thrift store, Gospel Rescue Mission. We do job training here. We do work readiness here. And we sell a lot of really great clothes here at the Booth Street thrift store. Let's go inside and take a look. Maybe we'll see Connie. Connie's here. Hi, we're looking at all the product here. What do you got right here?
I have men's shirts, I have men's pants.
Men's shirts, men's pants. You know what? I happen to know men that wear shirts and pants most of the time at the same time, which is really nice. This is our men's section, which is right behind our children's play area. So if you're a mom and you want to come shop, but you don't want the kid going, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, all the time, then you can go, hey, how about you come in here and play with some toys? We've got a bunch of toys. If you really like one, buy it, take it home. Here's the cool thing about this store and our thrift stores in general. When you buy from the Gospel Rescue Mission thrift stores, whether it's through the Booth Street thrift store or the Second Chance thrift store, here's what happens. All your proceeds go to help support the work of the Gospel Rescue Mission in helping people leave homelessness behind.
What if you have a donation?
It seems to me that I heard somebody ask in our audience, what if I have a donation? You come on in and you'll drive up right across this good old-fashioned gas station dinger. If there's things that we can't take, we have them right here listed. What kinds of things can't we take? If you got any household goods that are in good working order, we can take it. If you've got stuff that needs to go to the dump, that's what the dump's for. This is a great, great store and a great means of getting people from homelessness to independence, all happening right here at Booth Street Thrift Store with the great guidance of Connie Quigley. If you want a great deal on some great clothing, you need to come down and see Connie at the Booth Street Thrift Store. So with that being said, you have seen the ins and outs of the Gospel Rescue Mission Booth Street Thrift Store. Thanks for coming in. Come by and see us. We are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Actually, we close on 4 on Saturdays. Come on down, check us out. We're going to talk with a volunteer at your store that is now part of our team. Let's check that out. Let me show you. Let me say hi to Barbara. I've got a couple volunteers in here. Let me say hi to Barbara, who is no longer a volunteer, but who started as a volunteer, who came on volunteering with us, and then we were just like, holy cow, man, you know what? I don't ever want to be without you. Would you come on and would you just take a paycheck from us? But what made you decide to volunteer at a place like, at a place like the Gospel Rescue Mission?
Just because I've always had a heart for the homeless, and because I learned from you about the Gospel Rescue Mission through church. And so I just thought I'd contact you and see what I could do.
That was so good. It was that easy. It was that easy. All you had to do was learn about the mission from somebody else who knew something about the mission, learn about what we do, go online and sign up on our little volunteer thing. That's grantspassmission.org/volunteer. And you just go there, fill out the application. We go, yes, and then bring you in, and here you are in the side that's now the receiving side, where we're actually sorting out clothes and all that kind of stuff, which is always a great place that we can use volunteers. And yeah, and it's about to get even crazier. We're going to really be pushing this year to see an increase in our clothing stuff coming in, and a lot more product coming in. So that's super excited. I would like to see this warehouse have so much stuff in it that is standing room only, and I'd love to see where we've got a half dozen volunteers or so in here just plugging along, working alongside of our residents, praying for them, sharing God's love with them, and helping get them out of homelessness, because this place is flourishing. Right. Thanks so much. You can't really overstate the value of a good volunteer in our work. Somebody who knows and loves Christ, who is going to come in and, it seems like some kind of a mundane job where you're just, pricing and sorting pants or something, or whatever. But there's nothing mundane about it. I mean, you're working alongside these people, and you're getting to hear their stories. You're getting to hear them, their worldview, and hear them talk about, life. And you're getting to interact with them in that spiritual thing. And you were just in the break, we're mentioning kind of that spiritual component. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, absolutely. I find it really wonderful when the men and women connect, and it's like an aha moment for them. That they're like, oh, I didn't understand that. Now I do spiritually. It's like because they're reading the scriptures and we're talking and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then also, too, just you were speaking about the volunteers. I have one in particular, his name's Dennis. And he comes in only for a couple hours on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday morning, he's there faithfully. He has like the last year and a half, just a couple hours. He loves the Lord, but we're able to connect sometimes. He's typically does his own thing, he does the pricing of some clothes. I always make sure he has a couple racks to price. But sometimes he'll say, hey, I need prayer for this, or, this is going on, or we discuss the scriptures, or what's going out in the community, and it's a wonderful thing. We don't get to see him too often, but what a blessing to be able to have that with the different residents or the community, with the volunteers. So it's been
cool.
good.
Yeah. The Glenn, you were mentioning just the confidence booster that comes with a resident when they can sit there and share with you a book they're reading or something. I mean, you work with a lot of, seen a lot of residents over the years. Just talk a little bit about just kind of maybe the transformation that happens with people as they're working there.
It's still kind of funny, kind of humorous to me. I'll get somebody started, and we'll start building a relationship. I'll have them training, doing this and this and this, and they're always shocked to find out my past, that I was a drug addict, that I've been to jail many times, that I was homeless, and they always respond, "You? Yeah, that's the difference from where I am now. Don't be embarrassed that you have a history."
Right.
And it's also a blessing too. Currently, I've got Barbara and another volunteer, a staff member, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
That if a resident has a question about something in the Bible, I'm a great witness to the ability to change your life. Barbara and Jenny are very well versed.
Yeah.
As are you and Connie and Jack and our other staff members, who can explain to them what something may mean, what it may mean that they've read.
Sure.
And I've studied quite a bit with Keith and you and Ken, and I can apply the things that I read.
Yeah.
And share. Don't be embarrassed if you have a question. These are the people you need to talk to.
Right. That's great, man. That is so cool.
It's a beautiful day in Grants Pass, Oregon, and what better thing to do for fun than to go down to the Gospel Rescue Mission's Booth Street thrift store. At Booth Street, you'll find all kinds of nifty things for sale that the whole family will enjoy. Whether you're looking to donate your gently used household items, or if you're just browsing for that special find, the friendly folks at Booth Street will make sure you have a swell time while you're here. Even the little ones will love it. You'll leave knowing that your purchase will help the needy in our community. So don't be a wet rag. Beat feet, burn rubber, and come down to the Booth Street Thrift Store for some new threads. Booth Street Thrift Store, located on the corner of Booth and Foundry right here in Grants Pass. And that's the word from the bird.
All right, gang, that wraps it up for another Mission Live. Remember the things that really help us, even if you don't decide to become a donor or whatever, is that all you have to do is hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, or if you're watching it on Facebook, hit the like and follow button for us on that. And then share us with your friends and family. Man, we really appreciate that. That does so much for us as far as getting our ratings up and our rankings up in there, and it helps us get more organically in front of more people. If you like this show, that's a great thing you can do for us. I hope that you have a great week. Thank you for taking the time to join us. God bless you, and we'll see you next Monday right here on Mission Live.